Good afternoon. In this video, we're going over this week's options watch list. Before I get to the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video or in my bio, my social media accounts. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now looking at the put to call ratio, right now it's in the dead center, so it's not leaning towards any side, the puts or the calls. It's just right there in the middle. Now on the economic calendar for the week, we got a few things. Tomorrow, which is Monday, we have manufacturing PMI at 10. We have Powell speaking at 1. What is Powell doing at 1? Delivering remarks at the Federal Reserve Board Governors International Finance Division in DC. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So that's 1 o'clock tomorrow on Monday. Tuesday we have JOLTS at 10 o'clock. So I'll keep an eye on that. That's going to be a big one. And then we have some services PMI on Wednesday at 9:45 and 10 o'clock. And let's see, Thursday, unemployment claims, Fed speakers. Friday, unemployment rate. Unemployment rate. So yeah, on Friday, a few things. The most important one is going to be obviously Powell, because that's going to be in the JOLTS job reports on, what is that, Wednesday? Yeah, what day is JOLTS? Oh yeah, Tuesday. I thought they're usually on Wednesdays. But anyways, those are the 2 days to watch the most, I think. Now with SPY, we're going to keep an open mind. It's 650 right now, so I guess I can look at where it's opening here. Futures is up. It's down 14% now, 14 points. So let's see where that puts us. I mean, that's basically right around here in the 587 area. So okay, a couple things we're going to keep a look at on SPY. We got a big cup and handle. Here's a cup, and this is a handle. We get over 590, 591. We're probably going to take off to 600 pretty fast. Maybe if we get over 600, we're probably going to shoot the all-time high. I mean, we're right there. I mean, what's another $10? You know what I mean? But also keep in mind, we have a head and shoulders on the hourly. You get the left and you get the right shoulder. Everyone is focused on the head and shoulders hourly. So that tells me that we're probably going to pop, because 90% of the traders are wrong. And if everyone's looking at a drop in head and shoulders, the opposite's going to happen. So always remember that if the herd is wrong, and if the herd is saying buy, sell. If they're saying sell, buy, because they are wrong. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on both ways, either over 590 for push to 600, and if for some reason it does dump, we'll watch it underneath the we see the spot on the 580, so we'll say 585. Underneath 585, we get a gap fill down here underneath the 576 area down to the 565. So we might be able to, we might fill that gap. That's hard to say what will happen. It depends on what Powell does. As you can see, we got two inside candles right here on the weekly. We're gonna shoot up. We've been here for too long. We're gonna have a big move. Whether it's up or down, it's anyone's guess. It's hard to tell, but we'll be ready either way. That's why I need to be in the room. We'll make the decision early in the morning, pre-market, which side to look at and what we're gonna do. So VIX, let's see what VIX is. I think I'd remember right now. VIX is about 18. The temporary floor is right around 17. And the longer term is 15. I don't think we're going to get to 12. There's too much going on in the world for VIX to get down to 12. We really need to have a really sharp uptrend and the range come down. But we could end up dumping at 17. I mean, VIX could come down to 17 and then the market could dump. So if not 15 be the next area to watch on VIX. So a couple of things I want to look at is I'm not really looking at too much this week. Pretty much the same ones I've been looking at. BA, it made new high right here on Thursday, but it rejected harshly. I'd be watching BA underneath 205, and if it gets under 200, it's pretty much gonna end up dumping hard. If it gets under 200, we could end up seeing it down to 185 again and get back into this 185 area that it's been rejecting for a long time. So definitely keep an eye on BA underneath 205 for a push down to 185, while 200 to 185. Microsoft is another one to keep an eye on. Microsoft, it's up at this area where it likes to reject. Well, it did manage to get over 450, and it's just putting along. RSI is dropping, and it's just making new highs. It's got a bullish divergence going on, a bearish divergence going on. RSI is dropping, MACD's, not MACD, histogram's dropping, but price is going up. So I would watch a drop underneath mostly 456. If it breaks 456, we're probably going to end up coming down to 450, 440, and gap support down here is a 425. I don't imagine we're going to fill that gap on the first shot. We're going to likely, if anything, going to bounce off that if it even drops. I mean, we could end up just making new all-time high, and we could blink and Microsoft could be at 500. But I'm not interested in calls on Microsoft. It's getting pretty dangerous on the daily. I don't like seeing bearish divergences on the daily, because usually we end up pulling back. But doesn't mean go in and jump in and buy puts, because we've seen bearish divergences go on for months. Hence, go back and look at the weekly charts on Baidu and Roku. I was calling for a bearish divergence, and it took like 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months, before it actually did do its monstrous dump. So even if we see a bearish divergence now, I mean, Microsoft could chug all the way to 500, 550. I don't think it will, but never say never. Netflix is another one. Netflix is just getting punch drunk. Bearish divergences everywhere on this thing. On the daily, RSI is coming down a little bit. Histogram is down way bit. Same with the RSI on the weekly. The price is going up and the RSI is going down. We have bearish divergences like crazy, but who knows? We may not drop. I mean, this thing could shoot to 1250, 1300. Who knows? But I would be watching it underneath 1200. We're pushed down to 1180. We lose 1180. We're probably going to go to 1150, even 1100. So Netflix definitely needs to cool down. But this is just, I was looking at this the other day. This is just crazy that Netflix was down here at 165 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What year is this? Yeah, 3 years ago. June 27th right here. June right here. So 3 years ago, this wasn't even worth $170. And now we're at $1,200. That's crazy. That's why when you see these monster dumps on these good quality stocks, like we saw in Meta just a couple of years ago, you take advantage of them, because these companies are too good to just be worthless. I mean, to be worth this little and not be a huge buy. Crazy. It's just crazy to look back at. Okay, let me fix my chart, so I don't want to see that far out. NVDA is one to watch. I just did one overnight. Netflix. Now, NVIDIA, I know I ignored this alert. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for it to get under 100. If it gets underneath 100 again, I'm probably going to end up buying it with shares. But head and shoulders right here. Left head, right shoulder. I'm going to be watching this either or. It gets over 140, I'll be watching for a push to 145, 150. But if we end up losing Friday's low, 133, going to go to 130. We lose 130. We're going to get some gaps down to fill right around 124 and 128. I mean, we could drop down to 115, 110 on NVIDIA. So definitely keep an eye on that. The head and shoulders on the weekly is one to keep an eye on, but don't be too biased, because when I've noticed that when well, not necessarily on like on NVIDIA, but more or less on like SPY and Q and stuff like that, QQQ, that if you see a big, huge pattern that looks extremely obvious, it ends up being a trap almost every time. So be careful of that. I'm not saying NVIDIA is a trap. I'm just saying just keep an eye on it. Tesla is the last one I want to watch. Tesla, we did make it up to above 350. Now we have a tail candle right here, right above 350. A couple things to keep an eye on. We get a bearish divergence going on right up here. Price is going up as RSI is going down and histogram is going down. Definitely when histogram is showing a divergence, I pay attention more to histogram than I do RSI, but I do look at the RSI. Sometimes the RSI shows a divergence before histogram, and sometimes histogram doesn't even show a correct, won't even show a divergence, and RSI will, and the dump will end up coming, so, or the pop will end up coming. So it's definitely, if you're going to look for divergences, use the RSI and histogram. Any indicator that can give you kind of an advance warning that something could potentially happen. Now, I'm saying potentially could happen. We don't know. It's kind of not just saying. Keep an eye on Tesla underneath 340 for push to 330. Gets underneath 330. Got a gap to fill at 310, 300. We could get a pushback to the 300 area, then possibly rip even more. So, but if we do get back over 360, we could end up pushing to 400. We get a gap fill right here at 400 that we need to fill up. So Tesla, never count Elon out. I mean, we could end up popping. So be open-minded and look at both sides and just about everything. So that's going to do it for the watch list. We'll have to see what this week brings and see what Powell brings. I mean, we could be going all this stuff over this stuff, and Powell could come in and say something that could freak the market out and cause it to rage or cause it to dump, and everything won't matter. So that's the only bad thing about the Fed, is that anytime Powell opens his mouth, regardless of what the chart says, could go right out the window. So with that said, thanks for watching.